What's up guys, I'm Skiggy. In this video I'm going to show you how to take down Highlord Kruul in the Tanking Mage Tower challenge in Legion. This challenge is the most difficult of all. I'd recommend having about a 920 eye level, which is easily achievable by doing Argus quests and by doing Looking for Raid. Make sure you have a lot of nether shards, because on some classes it can be pretty difficult. Also, I want to point out that this challenge is more about how much damage you do and less about your mitigation, so you'll want to optimize your class for DPS with your stats and enchants. You can see which are best by checking your appropriate class website. Before you even come in here, you'll need to be prepared by getting a few things. Bring your appropriate class flask, bear tartar for food, defiled augment runes, prolonged power potions, and whichever gems you can find cheapest on the auction house. And you'll need some goblin gliders. We'll get to those in a minute. Get plenty of each of these things because you may be here a while. You'll also want to download the Deadly Boss Mod plugin for the Mage Tower called Challenges. Okay, so now we're here. The fight has a simple goal. Valen and his buddies are trying to stop Kruul from destroying the world. We have to kill the bad guys while making sure Valen doesn't die. There are a couple bosses and some trash mobs that you're going to need to know. The first mob here is Inquisitor Varus. His abilities start right away with Aura of Decay and Mind Rend. The aura decreases the amount of total hit points you have when you stand in it, so you can't take too many stacks. I'd say 4 to 5 in most situations, but usually you can do a couple more on your initial push when there aren't any other mechanics. The Mind Rend will usually go off and you'll have to mitigate or heal through it. His last ability is Drain Life. You'll always want to save your Stun or Interrupt ability for this, since it's the top priority in this phase. If he heals, it's usually a wipe. The next mob we see is the eye on the side of the room. It's going to shoot out a beam that doesn't do any damage. However, if you're not looking at the eye when the cast finishes, it'll knock you back and possibly off the platform. These aren't a priority since you can just turn your character towards them. Toss a ranged attack on them if you need to proc your bear tartar. It's a good practice to kill them all on one side of the room so you won't have to turn too much. This can be too difficult to keep up with when all the mechanics are going on. Another thing to mention is that the eyes can't be killed by normal melee, so you'll have to use an ability to take them down. Eventually, these arcane guys will come out and try to kill Valen. You'll have to get aggro on them and kill them fast. They radiate out an ability that does increasing damage, so kiting or stunning is the best way. Every class has an AoE ability, and this is when you're going to want to use it. Finally, we have an Infernal that just appears. You'll never be focusing the Infernals. They'll take damage from your cleave and kill themselves with a Hellfire ability. They will die off and reform throughout the whole encounter, so they never really go away. Their radiating AoE doesn't do much damage and can mostly be ignored. The Infernal also does an ability called Smash that will knock you off the platform most of the time if you're hit by it. You can avoid the Smash ability by constantly moving. However, if you mess up and get hit, this is where our Goblin Gliders come in. If you go flying away, hit your glider and try to make it back on the platform. More Infernals spawn throughout Phase 1, so the longer you're in the phase, the more Infernals you have throughout the whole encounter. If you end up falling behind or use your interrupt in the wrong place, Valen helps you catch up. He drops down these golden circles that heal you to full, take off magic effects, and puts a disorient on all the mobs. You'll use these a bit differently for each tank class. You can save them up and use them for emergencies, or you can include them in your rotation just to heal up after a couple rounds of damage. So after a handful of attempts, you'll finally kill Varus and think it's over, but this is when the fight starts getting hard. Kruul's going to come down and change the fight. You won't have to mess with the eyes or the aura stacks anymore, but you will have to deal with these purple bars that force you in a certain direction, which makes dodging the Infernals a little bit more difficult. Kruul comes with his own set of new abilities. He will do normal melee, which doesn't hurt for much, but he has a couple of abilities that you have to watch out for. He's going to jump on you and leave a patch of green on the ground. Get out of this quickly with your class's escape ability, since this is going to kill you pretty fast. You can also preemptively start moving when he jumps. That way, you'll be at the edge of the green, and you won't take much damage from it. Eventually, Kruul will cast an ability called Twisted Reflection. You'll want to save your interrupt for this one. If he gets this cast off, and it gives you a debuff, and your abilities will heal him. Save a golden circle in case he gets one of these to cast. If you heal him, you're probably going to fail. Lastly, he casts an ability called Annihilate. This is your tank cooldown. So Annihilate's going to do a big chunk of damage, and it will increase the amount each time. You'll want to kill him before he gets a few of these off. This ability is also interruptible, but he immediately casts it again, so you can't avoid it for long. If you're close to killing him and don't have any more cooldowns because you mismanaged them or had to use them to escape, you can delay it for a while, the Annihilate cast, to finish him off. So there you have the mechanics of the fight. Check out my class videos to see how to use specific abilities and legendaries to defeat the encounter. Thanks for watching, and congrats to all you guys on your new skin.